Hi, my name's Sue Larkey. I'm a teacher of children with autism spectrum disorder. I think one of the hardest things to teach children is social skills. In fact, think of yourself when you're put in a new situation with people you don't know. I'm sure you feel that social awkwardness. Imagine having autism spectrum disorder and really struggling to read emotions and social skills. Dr. Tony Attwood, who talks a lot in his sessions about bullying, really addresses the issues around bullying. But I think one of the components to address bullying is to actually help kids with their social skills. So today, I want to talk through some of the strategies I've found really effective over the years to help kids with their social skills. One of those is social stories, because so often kids on the spectrum miss social cues and don't understand. So when a teacher says to ignore a kid, this kid might follow the kid around, not actually knowing what ignoring means. So books like How to Stop Your Words from Bumping, that are full of social stories and written by two parents, fabulous resource. I also love these fantastic picture books by Jed Baker. There's one for primary and one for secondary. These actually have photos in them which really help the kids with understanding what's expected. And I've had a fantastic response from kids to those books. A number of families, what they do is they work on one of these at home and then get the school to work on them at school as well. I think when we're teaching social skills, we need that consistency between home and school. I must say that trying to fit social skills into a curriculum, there just isn't enough time as a classroom teacher. But my daughter's learning the saxophone, and the saxophone teacher said to my husband and myself, look, what she needs to do is just 10 minutes practice a day and then a half an hour lesson once a week. For kids with ASD, I really believe it's the 10-minute social skills practice each day, so 10 minutes at school, 10 minutes at home, and then you might do a social skills club or an intensive half an hour a week lesson, but it's got to be that continual practice that makes a huge difference to improving social skills. Many of you watching might work with kids in the early years, maybe under 5 or 6. Most people who work with kids under 5 or 6 do a lot of work around social skills. After lunch there'll be a child crying and you'll help with that situation, or at a preschool you might be working on turn taking and sharing. But a lot of kids with autism spectrum learn when they are 3 or 4 to go up to a kid and say, can I play? But now they're 14, they're in a high school and they're going up saying to kids, can I play? In fact, that's not how you ask to play when you're a teenager. So it's very important that we continually teach social skills and adapt them around the peer group. So, getting back to our 10 minutes a day. Teachers, what I think works is doing a quick 5-minute activity, maybe twice a day, with the whole class. Just a really quick activity, because then the children are getting information back from the peer group. So why not just ask the class, chat to the person next to you and say, how could you ask to join in a game? And find out from the peer group what language they use. Now, many of you will be sitting here going, oh, Sue, I'm busy. I haven't got time to think of these things. And I agree. I'm far too busy. So what I do, there's this fantastic socially speaking board game. What I do is I take the cards out of the board game. So actually grab the cards, and these are your 5-minute quick activities to do with the class. So for 5 minutes before morning tea, everyone in the class, turn to the person next to you. Imagine you're being teased. What can you do? And can you imagine what a 3-year-old says, a 7-year-old or a 17-year-old says are completely different. But parents, you can then have that conversation at home at night. These can be dinner table conversations, or if you're going on a long car trip, take the cards with you and make this your conversation starters. Or here's another fantastic one. Suggest one place where it's good to have a conversation and one place it's not good to have a conversation. These are really quick social skills. Now, Alison Schroeder has also developed socially speaking curriculum, and these would be your half an hour lesson plans each week. If you can fit into your program a half an hour each week, these are sensational. Now, I've used these in specialist schools and mainstream schools, and they really are great, fabulous worksheets, easy to just photocopy and use. You can see there's a whole range of social skills stuff I've talked about today. But last year, when I was really focusing on social skills when I went into schools, I realised we either had like social stories or the Allison stuff, and I felt like we needed something that combined both of them. And that's why Gabe Von S and I wrote our book called Developing Social Skills. And in this book, what we have got are social stories, plus lots of fantastic activities. A big part of this book is actually focused on emotions, because a lot of social skills is actually understanding when people are frustrated, sad, how you're feeling. So just remember, when you're teaching social skills, you also need to teach emotions. But in here are things like, it's okay to make mistakes, when to dob, working with other kids, in the playground, stop, think, do it. So a lot of this stuff, teachers, you would have seen in other documents, but what we've tried to do is put it all in one document. Making friends and being a friend. And this is the sort of stuff kids really need help with. A lot of people assume that a child being at school or around other kids, they'll learn these social skills. My experience is you need to teach it, just like you teach reading. We don't teach reading by sitting kids around books and expect them to suddenly learn to read. I don't think you learn social skills just being around other people. You actually need guidance, you need support, and you need to learn the rules of social engagement. Just like when you learnt to read, you learned all those things. You learnt the rules of reading, you learnt how to engage, you did lots of practice. So I hope you can have fun with social skills, and this is some ideas to get you started. And remember that social skills are a very important part of this ongoing development of this child. Thank you.